There is a new device in town. This is the Vivo V15 Pro. Let's quickly unbox it. There is a case, there is a charger, there is headphones, and of course the USB cable along with a bunch of other documentation. This phone is a bezel-less display phone. It has a pop-up selfie camera, 32 megapixels. It has a triple rear camera setup and the in-display fingerprint scanner. Welcome to Tech Vlog India. This is the first episode, and the first episode is about what my first impressions are about this device. Now, before we find out if this device is worth its price, there was a launch event yesterday, and I want to show you in this vlog what the whole world of technology looks like. So let's begin with what I experienced at the event. The thing about Delhi events is usually when they say a time, it's possibly half an hour late or 1 hour late or sometimes even more. So I'm already 20 minutes late. I'm on the way to the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium where the Vivo V15 Pro is being launched. The Sports Authority of India Indira Gandhi Sports Complex. Let's go in. Damn, wrong gate. Okay, this is the right one. Okay, I'm in.
Please make their way to the seating area and take seats.
Less than a minute. Let's go. Media.
Before we begin, may I request you to please stand to observe a minute of silence to show our respect for the recent unfortunate attacks in Pulwama.
So this is how the event went. It started with a 1 minute silence and a tribute for martyrs who died in the recent terrorist attack. It was interesting to see the event start with that. So then Vivo started talking about its operations in India. This phone, particularly the V15 Pro, is going to be the first to launch in India. It's a global first. And then they talked about how innovative the company has been with recent products like the Apex. That's their most innovative phone. And they eventually segued into the V15 Pro, which they think is bringing innovation to the masses. I agree. They also add that they have been leaders in the market segment between 20K to 30K with the V11 Pro. And they've also planned aggressive expansion in India. So that's what happened at the event with respect to the company. Then is, of course, about the product. They talked about the product. They are bringing innovations from the next, like the full display, the pop-up camera, and the in-display scanner. In addition to these marquee features, you'll be having a triple camera setup with a wide-angle lens. It has a super night mode, and also there is a new processor. They went further with the details. There is a super AMOLED display, which is good. And then there is the latest generation of the fingerprint scanner, which supposedly is faster. And then they talked about the mechanism of the pop-up camera, how rigorously they tested it. And of course, they talked about the camera again with the night shot. It's a 48 million quad pixel camera, effectively 12 megapixels, but has 48 megapixels on the sensor. Then they talked about the wide angle lens. And then Qualcomm's representative talked about the Snapdragon 675 and how it is going to help them in gaming and all that. And then eventually they went to the RAM and ROM. It's 6 GB and 128 GB. And then they announced the price, which is 28,990. So all this said, the event got over, and then they opened the show floor to hands-on of the devices. So I went around the event, and then I met some people who I already know, my colleagues literally in the industry. So I talked to them about the V15 Pro. Here it is. So here's Sandeep with Revertless, and we know each other for a long time. It feels actually, weird to say.
I'm not this tall actually. This is my real height in comparison.
But we are standing on stairs. Okay.
So I'll stand one step above to be on the same height.
Okay. Perfect. Yes. So Sandeep from Revertless, we have worked before, and we are here at the Vivo V15 Pro event. So I wanted to ask you, man, what do you think about the price?
I think it's pretty good in terms of what they're providing, because most of the smartphones in this price range, they don't have good displays. I think that's something that Vivo is really giving.
Super AMOLED.
Yeah, because other than Vivo, it's just Samsung giving you that. Yeah. And then Samsung cameras, to be honest, they're pretty shit. in this
Oh,
price
I
range,
saw
it's
your
M20.
photo samples. You already have
Vivo,
taken some
yeah,
photos.
yeah. So you guys can check it out. Maybe Bharat will.
Yeah,
include a
I'll
or
link the
something.
video below.
So I am quite impressed with the cameras. It's really good, both in terms of low light, and I was surprised because I basically went with little expectations, and when I kind of got the samples on the phone, I was like, okay, maybe the phone is what's making it good, the Super AMOLED display.
Right.
Then I put it on a larger screen and blew it up, and it still looks good. And I think the price is pretty great. I expected it around 30. Would have been happy, maybe even 31, I guess. But then, yeah, 28 I think is a good price for what it's offering.
So you think 29 is a great price for the phone?
And the other thing to mention is Vivo does kind of give these offers. They're giving some offers now. But I remember for the next, I bought one for my dad at the time.
Right.
So we exchanged his old Redmi 4A or 5A something, 5A at the time. Yeah. So I got more for the Redmi 5A on exchange than I actually did when purchasing it. In the sense that it was, I bought it for 5,999.
Okay.
I got 6,400 for the phone. 6,400, 6,800. So they had the 6,000 rupee exchange bonus.
Okay.
So suppose the value of the phone for exchange is around 800, 1,800. They
Right.
give you 6,000 on top of it.
Right.
So if that comes with this, then it kind of becomes a huge steal.
So Sandeep, your final verdict on the V15 Pro. I know we can see your review on your channel, but
I think it's a really good device overall. The thing to note that Vivo is actually kind of innovating and doing things that many others aren't doing nowadays. They're playing it safe, especially likes of Samsung or even Oppo for that matter aren't doing too much in terms of innovation, but Vivo is actually going a step ahead and bringing some important things.
yeah, and also I feel the things about Make in India.
Yeah.
I think those things work out as well.
And it has a nice gradient pattern.
Yeah, it does look really good, man.
Yeah. And even the the unlock speed is much faster now.
Okay.
Compared to the older necks and stuff like that.
Right.
And over here, if you see, I quite like this. It's a small thing, not many people notice, but it perfectly lines up. If you launch the camera, right? It perfectly lines up with the back.
Oh yeah.
So it's a bit of a tick for those who have OCD, I think. So yeah, that's pretty good.
So I met up with Ashish Mota, a long-time friend. He has been there, I think, since the Nokia days, right?
Yeah.
We have been in touch since the Nokia, the Windows phone. It's an old time. So he is doing videos on Namaste Tech.
Namaste Tech.
Yes. So I'll link his channel below. Check it out. So what do you think, Ashish, about the price of the V15 Pro?
So I think the price was decent enough, keeping in mind the specs and all. And what I really liked about it is the differentiating factor, which is the pop-up camera.
Right.
Like that, those are things which were old days things, which are now coming back.
Yes.
So that's one thing I really liked about it. So I think, yeah, overall the pop-up camera and the full display and the bezels are really thin.
Yeah.
So that should make a lot of difference.
So guys, I'm with Shimon right now. Shimon Das. Dude, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shimon. So hi, I'm Shimon. You can find me on the internet. Just write my name. You'll find me everywhere. That's the advantage of having.
Yeah, you need to search on Twitter. Shimon is SHIMON space PS4.
Oh God. Yeah, you'll see a lot of memes if you search for Shimon and PS4. But yeah.
Right. So Shimon, what do you think about the Vivo V15 Pro, man?
It's nice, I must say. The pop-up selfie camera, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the red version, the ruby red, it looks really amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's kind of unfortunate we don't have a real unit over here. It's there behind the display area, behind the glass.
No one has seen a real red out in the wild yet.
Yes, not yet.
So, what do you think about the price?
Could have been better, but still, it's nice. Like there are multiple devices in the same price segment.
Right.
So yeah, it will be good, interesting to see like how it fares as compared to the competition out there.
Right. So, do you think it's better than the V11 Pro?
Yes, better than the V11 Pro, of course. In my opinion.
But the V11 Pro was slightly lesser in price, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, correct. But hey, it's like the successor, like V11 Pro, now it's V15 Pro. It has to be better.
Yeah. I think 32 megapixel is great. I'm starting to take a lot more selfies, man. Do you take a lot of selfies?
Not many, but yes, when I need it, I take them selfies. What do you think about the back camera though? Like the whole arrangement of them? Do you think that it's topsy-turvy? Like
I think it's fine, but it's not a 48 megapixel camera. It's a 48 million quad pixel.
Quad pixel, yes.
Quad pixel. So it's not really a real 48 MP camera, so to speak. But but it has a wide angle option, which I love.
And you'll be seeing another version of this really soon in the Redmi Note 7.
Oh yeah,
It's the same sensor.
it's the same sensor. It's got the same sensor as the Redmi Note 7. That's fact from Shimon.
Yes.
So, final verdict, Shimon. What is the
Hashtag
final
exclusive.
verdict on the V15 Pro? Do you think it's value for money?
Sort of. Yeah. Sort of. Yeah.
So it is value for money.
Somewhat yes. If you're looking for something really different and you want a full screen display and a full screen experience, yeah, sure.
So
not?
why
You can have it.
somewhat? What stops you from saying yes fully?
Software. For me, the number one thing is software. I don't like Vivo's software.
So now you saw what others thought about the V15 Pro. You can check out all their channels, and now is the time for me to say what I feel. So 28,990, I think it's a bit high, especially for a phone that has Snapdragon 675. And this 48 megapixel sensor is going to be in devices like the Redmi Note 7, which is going to cost less than 15K. So these two things aren't great justifications for the price, but you do get innovation from the next, like a full bezel display that you won't find in devices under this price range. There is a 32 megapixel pop-up selfie camera, which is definitely going to be really good. If you are a big selfie maniac, then that works out for you. And then there is a Super AMOLED screen with the fastest in-display fingerprint scanner. That is also not going to be available down the price range. So except for the chip and the 48 megapixel count, I don't think there is much against this device for 29K. I think it's good if you think these innovations are worth it for you. And there are so many other things attached to this. Of course, there is a lot to test about the chip and the camera as well. I'm going to be testing the camera full blown and giving you all my thoughts on the camera. So that's pretty much it for this episode. This is episode 1, the first vlog that I have done around this technology world. So what I want to show you is what all happens in this world of technology. Not just devices, not just my thoughts on certain events. I want to show you my slice of life itself. When I'm going through these tech events or when I'm going through my experiences, I want to document them and show them to you while they happen. So that's going to be Tech Vlog India. Do hit that subscribe button because there is going to be a lot more happening soon. Hit that bell icon so that you don't miss out videos from MWC. Yes, we are going to MWC and we'll be covering stuff from there. So you'll be seeing vlogs from there. Hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. And whatever you think that you want to pass on as feedback about this video or about this device, if you have any questions, do post them in the comment section below. And there is also going to be other videos. I'm calling it Tech Voice India. It's a podcast as well as a video cast. So I'll be having conversations with a lot of people around the stuff that's happening in the technology world. So what I have as conversations, I'll be putting them out in video as well as audio. So do check those videos out. These two kinds of videos will be happening regularly. I'll be having conversations and I'll be having vlogs. Alright, so I'll catch you in the next episode of Tech Vlog or Tech Voice India. Again, if you have any comments, do put them in the comment section below. I'll meet you in the next video.